This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Friday, March the 19th, race number 8 at Oaklawn Park. Let's throw up this field. It's a pretty competitive group of optional claimers. Two other than is the condition, $40,000, the optional claiming price. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them, handicap along with us. Mike, the 5 Green Light Go, I would say, is questionable to doubtful to run in this race. He ran in a stake on Saturday, but if he does run here, he's not going to be 8-1.
He is not. This morning line is pretty hard to get behind. He won't be that kind of price if he runs here. Obviously, he's a horse that you would take pretty seriously. It's a quick turnaround for him. It's also a pretty significant class drop.
Let's head on over to the the Timeform US pace projector for this race. And remember to visit timeformus.com. Once scratches are made official, this pace projector will automatically update. Caribbean is expected to make the lead. This horse is fast, was on the lead last time out, and just seems like in good form for a high percentage trainer.
Yeah, in really good form. He does have a lot of speed. We'll see how loose he can get down there. I thought there was other speed in the race. It would help him, I think, if Green Light Go does not wheel back quickly in here. So maybe he doesn't get loose, but I do like his recent form.
Chanji, the number 1, does not have a lot of early speed. He's going turf to dirt and taking a big drop in class. He was simply overmatched in his last race on the turf. The problem is I think he's actually a little bit better on the turf than he is on the dirt. This is a Louisiana bred facing some open horses here at Oaklawn Park, and he might need a career best and a good trip.
Yeah, he's hard to make a case for in this race. I agree with you. I think he's probably better on turf, and his recent dirt races they aren't very good.
All West, the number 2, however, ran a pretty good race first start of the year in a similar spot on February the 27th. Let's squint our eyes and try to peer through the fog and the rain to watch All West's last start. He's going to finish in even 3rd, but the winner of this race is a nice horse, Mike. Lone Rock came back to be stakes placed with a 92 buyer.
Yeah, listen, this horse, I feel like he's interested in here only because I think he just wants to sit and make one run. And I did think there was a chance that he could catch some pace to run into in this race, Dan. I'm not a big fan of his. He seems like a kind of horse who does a lot of his running when the race is already over. But if he catches a pace in front of him, he can get a piece of this.
Background was surprisingly put in some really tough spots last year. The Oaklawn Stakes, the Indiana Derby. He's not that kind of horse. Last time out, though, maybe he kind of hinted at what he could be against allowance types. Let's watch that race over Sloppy Going. He was dismissed at 34-1 off of a very dull sprint return effort off of a layoff. He was just able to get right up close to the pace here, and he holds them off. This is not a good field he beats, but maybe he's slowly finding himself.
Yeah, maybe he is. Boy, it's tough to go back to him now after he, pays, over $70 winning this race, Dan. But I agree with you. I think he was pretty good last year. The 2 stakes races didn't work out for him, but in between that, I thought he ran fine when he was 3rd to Rushy in between those 2 races. I love the ride that he got last time too. They got very aggressive with him from an outside post. The pace was not slow, but he hung on all the way. He ran really, really well last time.
Here's Caribbean, the number 4, running second in a $50,000 claimer for trainer Robertino Diodoro. We're going to watch that race right now. This horse set some legitimate fractions over this muddy track, Mike, and he is in control turning into the stretch, and it takes a really nice older horse and Rated R Superstar, who actually came back and acquitted himself quite nicely with a decent performance the other day in stakes action. If Caribbean can get to the lead, as the pace projector says, and slow it down a little bit, he fits with this bunch very well.
He really does. He ran really well in this race. Right, no match for a good horse at the end, but a couple of horses took shots at him on the lead. He put those horses away and then just got run down at the end. He ran well 2 back as well, I thought, Dan. That wasn't as good a field, but he did it from off the pace while saving no ground at all. I thought he ran well that day. He's just the kind of horse who could get a good trip in here and who just, for whatever reason, Robertino Diodoro seems like he has the key to this horse. This horse runs well for him.
The connections are still looking to find Green Light Goals whole card. Maybe it's already come and gone. He was a very early 2-year-old. He won the Saratoga Special. He was second to Tis the Law in the Champagne back in 2019. Abbreviated campaign in 2020 where he was somewhat of a disappointment. And they ran him in the Essex on Saturday. And Mike, I don't know. He earned a figure that makes him very tough in this race. But he was kind of battling with Harper's First Ride throughout, and he never could get by that horse. I'm just not sure how far this horse wants to go, and I wonder here if his best is behind him. If he runs in this race, he is a fit.
Yeah, it's not a bad spot if they decide to wheel back quickly here, to be sure. And he could obviously win, Dan. He's just not my kind of horse. I don't really feel like he's improved that much from early on in his career. And listen, I guess he ran fine in the Essex last time, but it's not like, I know that the 1-2 finishers came from last and next to last, but it's not like they came from the clouds, Dan. To me, that race wasn't falling apart. Green Light Go never looked like he was going to win. I didn't think he ran that well last time. I kind of want him to run here because I think he'll take money, and I just don't want to bet him.
No, I think the disappointment last time was, again, he couldn't get past Harper's first ride despite those two being softened up. He really has some things to prove despite a resume that shows he has back class. Proverb is the 6, and I think Proverb is kind of an interesting horse in this race, despite the fact that we haven't seen him since around Halloween. Look at the horses he's been in against. I mean, Silver Prospector is a grade 3 type, and he was in against Tim last time out, chasing a slow pace. He had no shot against Nick's Go 2 starts back. You take those two races out of the equation, he is a solid horse that approaches the buyer par with tactical speed.
Right. I agree with all that stuff, and I don't have anything to add to it. He's just the kind of horse who makes a lot of sense in here. He doesn't stand out. I feel like he could take some money in here, and I'm not sure, how short a price I'd want to take on him. But this is a race, to me, he can clearly win.
We saw Background pull off an upset in pace pressing fashion. Let's watch the 7 Defender's most recent run over a muddy track where he went off at 16-1. He set the pace, and it looks like he is just in hot water to get to the stretch. He's passed, but he comes back very, very gamely to win this race. The story of the race might have been the first half mile or so, Mike, because this horse was able to shake loose and relax.
Yeah, he did. And he does fight back very gamely here to just get it done at the end. He's a horse who I think wants to show speed. I mean, his best races, all of his good races, and basically all of his wins are when he's, right up there on the lead. So we'll see if he can get there in this field.
Third start of the form cycle for the 8 Beaver Hat, who finished behind All West in his most recent outing. Maybe the wet track just worked against him that day. He was 7-2 in that spot. He's going to be a much bigger price here. And his race off the layoff 2 starts back was pretty good.
Yeah, not a bad effort off the layoff. Didn't run nearly as well last time. We'll see if the wet track was the excuse. His prior 2 starts on wet tracks were both really good efforts. So I'm not really sure what to do with this last race, Dan. He was the kind of horse I still feel like, overall his form is fine. I still feel like he has to improve to beat this field.
The last time Strong Tide went turf to dirt, he was able to score against Indiana bred stakes competition, the 4th place finisher coming back to win an optional claimer at Charlestown with a 78 buyer, another horse that was just overmatched in the Connolly. This is a horse that's versatile. He likes dirt. He likes turf. I think he might be in a little bit tough against open horses, however.
I agree. I mean, I liked his dirt win prior to that little layoff there in November. I thought he ran well in that race. The question is, how does that race match up against this field? I'm not sure it does.
And another horse that could potentially add a little bit of speed to the mix is the 10 Warriors Map, who just didn't do much against Lone Rock last time out, despite the fact that this is a horse that's run pretty well on wet tracks in the past. If you could somehow get past that race, you go to his start 2 starts back against 3 Lifes. He ran well.
Yeah, I agree. He's the horse who I would be willing to give the wet track excuse to last time. His prior form is actually pretty good. He's got good tactical speed. I feel like he can get forward from post 10, but he doesn't need the lead. It's probably going to be a fair price in here. This is an interesting horse.
Top pick time. Again, visit timeformus.com when scratches are made official. The pace projector will update. Green Light Go, I think, will likely scratch out of this race. They took a shot in the Essex. If he runs here, he is dangerous simply because I think he can work out a trip in the second flight. It's all about what sort of price he's going to get. I am a little bit interested in the 3 horse if Green Light Go scratches, although Mike made a very good point. That horse was 1,000,000-1 last time out, and you'll be nowhere near those odds in here. You're going with the hot hand. It's Diodoro with a consistent horse that can get close to the pace.
Yeah, that's the reason why I took him. I'm just hoping that Cohen's on a little bit of a send here, Dan. I want this horse on the lead and just see if he runs as well as he did last time. I think it'll be tough.
And 3-1 on the morning line seems fair considering his good recent form and the fact that this might actually be a hidden class dip, taking on Rated R Superstar last time out. 4-3-6-2 for Mike, 5 for me. If the 5 is out, I'll go 3-7-6. And the Friday race of the day, the 8th at Oaklawn. Best of luck.